Hey, what's up, everybody? It's the Amish Country Mets guy. It's your first time on the channel. Thanks for joining. Um, do me a favor, if you do happen to like the content, give me a like, comment, subscribe. I'm obviously not expecting this to be like some huge thing, but it's nice to interact with people and see what the fans are thinking. So let me know, give me some ideas. As you can see, I'm outside. I was thinking of ways to make this kind of unique. Being that I'm the Amish Country Mets guy, what better way than take advantage of the country background? I probably won't be able to do this every time, but the weather's decent enough I can do it right now. It's a little muddy back there, but it's all good. So this video is going to be a season preview. Just the Mets season preview, my thoughts on the offseason, my thoughts on this season going forward, and then I'll do some predictions for like the divisions and the World Series champion and MVP, Cy Young, and all that deals. So let's start with the off season. First off, obviously Jake is gone. To me, it's obviously, it hurts, but it's not that big a deal. I just don't trust him to stay healthy. I never really thought it was a good idea to pay him a lot of money for a lot of years. If it was a shorter term contract, I was cool with that, but I just can't. I don't think he can be really relied upon. I know people say, well, before the last few years he was a horse and this and that and the other, but I don't know, man. Just nagging injuries and just having this. I mean, you do it with most starters, but with Jake in particular, like every time he finished an inning, you were like looking to see if he was like tweaked something or was hurting. And you know, me personally, I just don't. I prefer not to deal with that stress. And his replacement, Justin Verlander, I mean, AL Cy Young. Yes, he's old, and it's a problem with our team in general. I guess is they skew a bit older. But I mean, the guy's a stud, and until he proves otherwise, I have faith in him, and I honestly think he will have a better season than Jacob deGrom this year. I really truly believe that, and if not, I mean, just as good. I feel like if Jake can stay healthy, he's gonna be amazing. If he's hurt, then it's a problem, obviously. So that's my thought on that. The rest of the offseason, I mean, the Kodai Senga signing, I think, is huge for us. I really think he's going to be really good. I know Japanese players, Japanese pitchers in general, hit or miss. I have a visitor, if you can tell in the background. That's called a guinea hen, for those that don't know. He's not mine, belongs to the neighbor, but he's always coming around. So that's one of the downsides to filming outside, is you never know what I'm gonna get as far as wild animals out in the country. So, I mean, he's not wild animal, but you get it. Anyways, lost my train of thought. Kodai Senga. Yeah, I think he's gonna be a stud. I know Japanese guys can be hit or miss, but I really think he's gonna be good. And spoiler alert, as when we get to awards, I think he's going to win the Rookie of the Year. I think he's going to be that good. Other acquisitions, we didn't really make that many. We signed a lot of our own guys. I mean, we did pick up Quintana, but he's hurt till probably July. So that stings a little bit, but I feel like Peterson can step in and do a good job. We got Tommy Pham, not really my favorite signing. I don't know that he'll even be on the team the whole year. I think they will give him some burn because they did give him a decent amount of money. So I don't think he's going to, I don't think they're just going to play him for a week or two and then dump him. I think they'll probably give him a couple months. And hopefully I'm wrong and he produces and he's a solid contributor and he can stay on the team and help us make it to the postseason and hopefully make a deep run in the postseason. So the Tommy Pham, yeah, was our big outfield signing. Let's get to the guy that we didn't get, Carlos Correa. That was, I think, the most disappointing thing in the offseason for me. I really thought he would lengthen the lineup, provide really good defense at third base, allow us to maybe move Beatty to the outfield or even use him as a trade piece. That said, I think Beatty's going to be really good. Problem is, we have a manager that doesn't seem to believe in giving the young guys a shot. And this is my biggest issue with the team, is I think if the kids were allowed to thrive, I honestly think we would be a lot better. Not that I think this team's going to be bad. Here's the thing. I've seen a lot of Mets fans. I'm on Twitter a lot. Things seem to be skewing kind of negative lately, and I get it. The lineup doesn't look any different really from last year. You got Diaz just got hurt, a few other injuries here or there. So people are just a lot of knocks on the team, and I understand them. Me, I consider myself a realistic Mets fan. I can play both sides. I can be homer sometimes. I try to skew positive, but I mean I can't get negative sometimes, and especially like after a tough loss, like sometimes fly off the handle. And you'll see I'm gonna do post game videos. So I'm sure if we get a really bad loss, I'll be on here ranting and raving. But I try to see things in a positive light. So if you're on here and you're just looking and you're just shitting on the team all the time and that's your deal, you're probably not going to like this channel too much, because that's not my thing. I will call it like I see it, but I will try also to point out the positives. So, like, I understand where fans are coming from, but I don't think this team's going to be... It's going to regress for sure. They're not going to win 100 games. I highly doubt it. But I think, and this again goes back to giving the kids a shot, I think if they gave the kids a shot and gave Beatty a shot off the bat, and stop talking like Alvarez isn't going to be here till September, like I don't feel he's ready yet, but I definitely think come June, July, if he's raking in AAA and making the defensive improvements needed, there's no reason he shouldn't be up here. And if Buck is telling Epler otherwise, or I don't know that dynamic. I feel like Buck does have a lot of say. I mean, at the end of the day, Epler's the GM, but it does seem like Buck has a lot of pull on this team with transactions, and I don't know that I love that so much, just because he just skews towards the veterans. He loves his veterans, and I need a manager that's going to give the kids a chance, man. Brett Beatty's going to be a good third baseman. He's going to be I truly believe he's going to be our third baseman for years to come. He's going to be our I mean, not as good as Pete Alonso, but he's going to be our Pete Alonso at third base. So, like, I just think if we gave the kids a shot and didn't lean toward the veterans so much, I think we could win 95 maybe. Maybe that's being too optimistic, but I really like these kids. I like Vientos. I think he should be given a shot at DH. Doesn't seem like the team believes in him, though. They didn't believe in him last year. They waited till the last possible minute to bring him up, and they really didn't seem to want to. And then they never really played him when he came up. This year, they gave him a shot in the spring, but I felt like that's just because of the WBC. And he did what he had to do. He produced, and still not a chance. I mean, why are we... I mean, let's get to this. Thank God Darren Ruff is not on this team. That would have been a shit show. But LeCastro isn't that much better. He brings speed. He's probably the Jankowski of this year. Hopefully, can provide a spark in the beginning of the year. But he's not a bat, and maybe he'll surprise us a little bit. But I don't see it. So I think it would have been smart to carry Vientos off the jump and see what he can do. We need a thumper from the right side against left-handed pitching. Because right now, you look at our lineup, 1 through 5 is very solid. Obviously, we got Nimmo, Marte, Lindor, Alonso, and McNeil. Personally, I would put McNeil second and Marte fifth, but Marte seems to like the 2 spot. And last year, there were talks about how he told Buck he would like to just stay in 1 spot in the lineup, and that's what he wanted to do. And I don't see that changing this year. So I think Buck is, and that's another where Buck is set in his ways. So I'm sure Marte wouldn't. I don't think he'd complain about hitting 5th if he was just left there. But I just think Buck is set in his ways, so he's gonna put Marte at 2, and it's whatever. I think the lineup is a little deeper when you put Marte at 5, just because I think he's more of a power threat, and I like the power threat in the 5 hole. I love McNeil, don't get me wrong, but I think he's more of a table setter. So him right behind Nimmo, I think that'd be awesome to have those 2 on base for Lindor and Alonso. Speaking of Lindor, I think this guy's gonna have an MVP caliber year. As a matter of fact, spoiler alert, I'm just gonna throw out my predictions as we go, I guess. Francisco Lindor's my pick for MVP this year. Homer pick maybe, but I really think, he looked awesome in WBC. He just looks locked in, man. And the last time there was a WBC, he had an amazing season. So he's been quoted as saying like it helps him prepare, and he thinks it helps him get ready for the season. Although he did say he was a little tired at the end of that year, so we'll see how that goes. We're gonna have to manage his innings a little bit, maybe try to get him some extra days off here or there. But yeah, I think he's gonna be MVP. He's gonna have an MVP caliber year. Alonso, I don't have any worries about him. At times he can get a little weird at the plate and try to pull too much. Hopefully he stays away from that this year, because when he's hitting the ball at all fields, he's a beast. And obviously he's got massive power. Nimmo's the on base guy. He's that pesky guy, gonna draw walks, gonna sprint to first base. Is he worth the money he got? Probably not, but we didn't have another option, to be honest. Like, we don't sign Nimmo, we're screwed. So, it is what it is. He got what he got. Hopefully, my thing with Nimmo is health. And that's the other thing with this team. Like, health is what's going to determine how far we go. If the team can stay relatively healthy, we'll be fine. If we get a ton of injuries, we're screwed, because we don't have, especially with the lineup, we have a little more pitching depth. I'm not good with that word. Yeah, we have a little bit more pitching depth, but the lineup, guys go down, we're gonna be struggling a little bit. Certain guys, especially, like obviously if Escobar goes down, I think Beatty just slides right in. Backup guy goes down, Vientos can slide in. But we lose Lindor, we lose Alonso. Marte, we need Marte healthy. Obviously, we saw what happened at the end of last year. Marte got hurt, and our lineup sputtered bad. Granted, they were sputtering a little bit before that, but when he was out, it killed it. We need him on the field. So he's a huge X factor. His health, the guy can play. He can hit. He can field. He's got some speed. He's got all the tools, but if he can't stay healthy, he ain't gonna help us. So that brings us to the bottom half of the line. I get it. The bottom half of the lineup looks not great. This is what I will argue on the positive end. Look at the other teams in Major League Baseball and tell me how many of them have a stacked 1 through 9 lineup. Not many, if any. Even the Padres, you get towards the bottom of their lineup, it's not all all-stars. So not, I think everybody, or a lot of Mets fans like to knock our own guys, but you got to look at the other teams too. It's not like they're light years ahead of us with the bottom half of the lineup. Granted, that said, our bottom half leaves a lot to be desired. It does. Again, I'm going to make some points. This is why I think it could be better. Mark Canha, I think he gets a lot of hate, but here's the thing. He should be a fourth outfielder. Or at the very least, like, splitting time with somebody. He's not an everyday guy. But when he plays, and he does get some time off, he produces. He can produce. He's a solid enough bat. He has some pop. He's decent. He's not bad. He's not a bad baseball player. I just wish, obviously we all wish, with a $400 million payroll, we had a little bit of a better guy out there. And considering Tommy Pham is our next option, not great. But I think Canha is serviceable. I think he's all right. Escobar, he had a horrible, pretty much till September, he was shit. I don't think he's going to be that bad this year. I think he's going to pick it up. Is he a stud? No. But again, he's serviceable. Let's get to the catching position. Again, if they give Alvarez a shot in midsummer, I think that he's going to be a huge boost to the lineup. But if Buck is playing games and just refuses to fucking have him up, then our catching doesn't look great. That said, James McCann was a nothing last year. You could argue he provided negative value to the team. So I don't think Narvaez is going to be nearly that bad. I think Narvaez and Nito will produce way more than McCann and Nito. So that is a potential upgrade in the lineup, as crappy as that sounds. But any upgrade helps. Then the DH spot. Remember, last year the DH spot was a black hole. Well, let's be honest, most of the year. But when we traded for Vogie and Ruff, it got better. Not because of Ruff. But Vogie until he got that hamstring injury, he was doing okay. Vogie can hit right-handed pitching. Vogie obviously can't hit lefties, so, and this is my issue with the lineup, is especially with not having Vientos up, you don't have a clear DH against left-handed pitching. I guess Pham, to me, that's not good enough, but we'll see. I mean, Ruff was a black hole, so if he can be better than Ruff, then I guess that's a win. I think Vogie's going to be serviceable. I think he'll hit close to 20 home runs this year. As a matter of fact, I'll say he'll hit 20. If he stays healthy, give it a shot. He's playing, if it remains a platoon all year, then I'll say he's going to hit 20 bombs this year. So, yeah, that's the lineup. I'll run through the lineup. So this is what I think Buck's going to do. I had to write it down, so I'm going to look down for a minute. So I'm thinking he's going to go against righties, Nimmo leading off, Marte second, Lindor third, Alonso fourth, Jeff fifth. He's probably going to go Canha 6 and Vogie 7 because he likes to do the lefty-righty thing, splitting them up. Then Escobar would be 8th, and Narvaez or Nito in the 9 hole. Then with lefties in there, I think the only change would be Vogie's out, and then whoever, I'm guessing Pham. And obviously there'll be days where he's going to try to get Alonso at DH or Lindor maybe a shot at DH. And then we'll see like Guillorme play for Lindor or something like that. Which I like Guillorme off the bench. I think he's not a big hitter, but got a great glove. And he works at bats. The dude works at bats. So I like that. So the overall projection for this team, and this is maybe a cop-out, but I think a lot of it's going to depend on what happens at the trade deadline. Well, I already said health. Health is a big one, but what happens at the trade deadline is important too. Well, first, let me backtrack a little bit because I didn't really talk about the rotation much. So we got the rotation. We got Verlander and Max. I think they're interchangeable 1-2. We're starting off, I guess, the rotation to start the season is going to be Scherzer's pitching tomorrow, Peterson after that, then Verlander, then Senga, then Carrasco. So we're going to have my two-headed monster, Verlander and Scherzer at the 1-2 spots. Again, provided they're healthy, I don't have an issue there. The biggest issue is going to be especially Max, can he maintain it to the end of the year? He's kind of flamed out the last 2 seasons. If he can find a way to maintain his production towards the end of the year, then we're in good shape. Then, in my mind, I know this is not the way the rotation is set up, but in my mind, Senga's the obvious number 3. And I already said I think he's going to be a stud. So we got 3 really good starters at the top. Then you got Peterson instead of Quintana for now. And Peterson's Peterson. Reminds me a lot of Matt's at times. And Matt's had his good and bad moments. And Peterson's, to me, is kind of the same. I think he'll be okay. I think he's going to be good enough for that 4th spot. And then Carrasco. Carrasco's another guy. He had a pretty decent year last year. That's all we need him to be. We don't need him to be an ace. We just need him to stay healthy, be serviceable. We've got behind them, obviously McGill. He didn't have a good spring, but he's going to be starting opening day for Syracuse. I think if he can get right, he will provide some valuable starts this year. I truly believe that. We're going to see him because the team's going to, at points, going to employ a 6-man rotation. They've said it. I don't see that changing. So we're going to see McGill, and I think he's going to be good. We also got Luke Casey back there. We signed Dylan Bundy. I hope we never see him. But, again, it's just Steph. So we'll see. I think we have enough arms. We could survive minor injuries. We can't, obviously, if one of our big guns goes down long term, it's trouble. But I think we have enough arms. It's okay. Let's get to the bullpen real quick. Losing Diaz obviously hurts. It hurt. I damn near cried. I was watching the game when he went down during that celebration. I froze. I felt sick. It was awful. But after some time and thinking on it, we are in a way better position to handle that than we, I think, could argue have been ever in the past, given that we've got Ottavino and Robertson that have closing experience, and I think they're gonna be good. Obviously, they're not gonna be Diaz level, but I think we will survive the Diaz injury. And we got new arms, Rayleigh. I think he's gonna be really good. That Curtis dude, he looks like he can be really good. Drew Smith, who knows? He gives up a lot of bombs, but he's got nasty stuff. So, and there's a couple guys I'm missing, but I think the bullpen's going to be serviceable. I don't think the bullpen doesn't scare me. The bullpen last year scared me a lot more than it did this year, and that's with Diaz. The road to Diaz last year was very shaky, and I think sadly he got hurt. I think we shored that up this year, but then we lost him on the back end, so that part definitely sucks. But I think the bullpen's gonna be fine. So again, going back, I'm sorry I'm jumping around a little bit. It's the first time doing this. So trade deadline. I think a lot is gonna depend on the trade deadline. If the Mets are in it, they're gonna try to make a move. I could see them go getting a bullpen arm, and they're gonna need another bat. They're either gonna need a DH they can trust to run with the job full time. Another outfielder. I think they should get another outfielder. I think, again, to me, Canna would be a perfect fourth outfielder. If they could get somebody to play an everyday outfielder, then that would be awesome. The problem with the Mets and the trade deadline is this so-called Mets tax. And yes, I think it's real. I think people don't like Steve Cohen. I don't think people want to help Steve Cohen. And I think the price for players when it comes to trading, for the Mets acquiring pieces, it goes up for whatever fucking stupid reason. It pisses me off, but they ask for the moon from us, but take garbage from other teams. And it's been documented. Off the top of my head, I can't remember, but there were certain instances last year where the Mets were in on certain guys and we couldn't get them, yet teams took far less. Look at that Darren Ruff trade. How did we end up listen, do I even remember the names of the minor leaguers we gave up? No. But should we have had to give up J.D. Davis and minor leaguers for Darren Ruff? Hell no. So that was, either that was Epler being stupid or they just wouldn't budge and he had to give that all up. Either way, either way he probably shouldn't have. But just that alone to me proves that there's some sort of Mets tax. So we'll see. And Mets are also been stubborn and don't want to give up guys. And I understand that we need to build a solid minor league system so that we don't have to go and sign every free agent out there. But at the same time, Mauricio, if teams like him, he doesn't have a spot here. If they can move him to the outfield maybe, but Lindor's here for 10 years. If Beatty's playing third, he's not going to be able to play third. McNeil's here for a while. Yeah, if you want to stick him in the outfield, I just don't see it. So if you can get a team to believe in Mauricio, if he can have a decent minor league season heading into the All-Star break, I think he's a piece you definitely look to move. Vientos is another one. We don't seem to believe in him. I think you should let him ride with the right-handed DH spot for now. But if you're not, and teams are interested, then package them up. There's guys we can give up. That I know there's guys we consider untouchable or whatever, but those are two guys that I don't think we should have a problem moving if we have to. I'm going to throw out some names. It's early in the year to do this, but some names that should be on the radar. And shout out to the Shea and Sons team, the podcast they have, and they're on Twitter. Check them out. Look them up. They're on Apple and iHeart, I think, as well. Check out their podcast. Check them out on Twitter if you're on Twitter. Good dudes. Yeah, check their stuff out. But they mentioned Winkler. Jesse Winkler? I'm blanking for some reason. But we had a little bit of a run-in with him when he was in Cincinnati, and even last year he did the waving thing to the fans, and he likes to poke fun. He seems to like New York though, and I mentioned this. I think I commented on their post when they mentioned him as a trade candidate. Like he feels like a guy that's destined to be a Met, and I hope that's sooner than later. And I could see that being this year. If the Brewers fall off, which a lot of people are predicting they will, I could see Winkler making his way to Queens. So that would be, I mean, granted, last year he kind of sucked. The year before he was really good. He's been serviceable. I think he would be an upgrade for sure in the outfield. So that's a name to look out for. Another name, Tyler O'Neill from the Cardinals. The Cardinals have a crowded outfield. He's a power bat. I think he's the kind of guy that we could definitely use in the lineup. I think they're not going to just give him away. The dude's decent. They're going to want some pieces for him. But I could see him being available, and that would be a guy I would definitely be interested in. Ian Happ from the Cubs. I think the Cubs are on the come up, but I don't think they're there yet. And they have some younger guys that I think they would like to get time. He's definitely a guy I'd be interested in. Had a pretty good year last year. He's pretty good in the outfield. I like him. I think he'd be an upgrade. Actually, there's two more. One more, CJ Cron. Obviously, he plays first base, but I think that'd be a dude that you just give the DH spot and be like, boom, bogey, hit the bench, bro. The Rockies, they always suck. I don't think that's going to change this year. They should have traded him last year, but they're idiots, and they don't ever do what they should. I definitely see him on the move this summer, and I could see the Mets being interested. And then lastly, somewhat local guy. I mentioned in my intro video that I'm an hour and a half north of Pittsburgh. So I do get to PNC often. That's where I go watch the Mets. I don't get to New York that often anymore. So if I can catch the Mets in Pittsburgh or Cleveland, that's where I go see them. So Brian Reynolds, Pittsburgh Pirates. He wants a contract extension. The Pirates are broke bitches, or like to pretend they're broke bitches. Their owner's got money, he just doesn't want to spend it. And it's a shame because their ballpark is the most beautiful ballpark in my opinion, and it's a waste because there's just a trash team on the field every year. But anyways, this isn't a Pirates thing. But Brian Reynolds is a guy that could get moved, and I would absolutely love if the Mets picked him up. Obviously, you stick him in center field, moving him over to left, and we're cooking. I think that provide a big boost to the lineup. He's a very good player. So I could see that being a move. A lot of teams are going to be interested in him though. So that's not going to be an easy get. We're going to have a lot of competition, and if we're taxed like that Mets tax, then we're probably screwed. But he's a name to look out for. So those are my names to look out for in the summer as far as hitters. I haven't looked into the pitching market all that much, just because I honestly think we're okay. We're good. Our pitching's going to be solid enough. Sorry. So I'm more worried about the hitting, as most of us are. And I think, we will look into getting a... Obviously, Alexis Diaz is the obvious. Everybody's like, oh, we need to get Alexis. That would be super cool, especially next year if Edwin's healthy. Have both of them in the pen. That'd be sweet. That would be one. We'll see who else pops up. I'm always, I feel like every year you should be looking to improve your pen. I mean, unless your pen is just lights out and there's nobody on it that can be replaced, but that never happens. There's always a guy in the pen that's like, we could do better. So especially missing Diaz this year, I think we're gonna need one more pen arm for the stretch run. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. As far as divisions and predictions and all this, I wrote this down. Sorry. All right, so let's start. We're gonna start in the AL. My AL East winner would be the Toronto Blue Jays. I think they're gonna squeak out the win over the Yankees. The Yankees will be a wild card, in my opinion, probably that first wild card. I just think this is the Blue Jays' year as far as winning the division. The AL Central, I know everybody's on the Guardians. The Guardians are close. Cleveland, another hour and a half northwest of me. I love going there. Like to catch a game there too. I always like to consider them my AL team. You know, I'm a Mets guy all the way, but I like to keep an eye on Cleveland. But I don't know. I guess I just didn't want to be like everybody else either. So I'm gonna go with the White Sox. I think the White Sox can sneak in there and steal the division. That division isn't very good. There's the Twins too, but they're all the very similar teams to me. I like the White Sox to take the division though. The AL West, the Astros, come on now. Like they're just that good. So they're gonna take the AL West. But my other two wildcard teams come from the AL West. I like Seattle a lot. I think they'll give the Astros a run for their money, but they will come in second. And then I believe the Angels will take the other wildcard spot. Granted that obviously, I think if the Angels are struggling and they decide to pawn off Shohei, that changes things. I don't think they're gonna. I think they're gonna be good enough that they're gonna try to make a run, and I think they're gonna squeak into the playoffs. So, sorry, there is something around here blowing around. This is the downfall of being outside. It's distracting. So. AL West winners, the Astros, Mariners, and Angels make the wild card. Moving on to the NL. The East, as much as I hate to say it, is the Braves division to lose, and I think the Braves do take it. Again, trade deadline pending. Things could change. Anything, like, these are just predictions. Anything could change. I could be totally off base, but I'm going to go with the Braves. I will take the Mets to come in second and Philly to come in third, both to make the playoffs as two wildcard teams. In the Central, I like the Mets to win 90, by the way. Right now, as constructed, 90 wins. You might say that's too much. I think they can get to 90. And that number can bump up depending on upgrades. And if they let the kids cook, eventually, I'd love to see Beatty up within a month or 2 months at the latest. And Alvarez should be up by June, July too. If not, that number could skew even a couple games less. Obviously, injuries would kill my prediction, but I like 90 for the Mets. Philly would be third. They're the other wild card. In the Central, I like the Cardinals. I think that, like I said, I think the Cubs are going to come up, but I don't think they're ready yet. The Brewers, I feel like they're going to sputter a bit. I think that's a common thing people are thinking this year, and I think they will. They'll probably sell off some pieces. So the Brewers are not going to be giving the Cardinals a run for their money, I don't think. NL West, I've gone back and forth on this. I'm going to take the Dodgers to win the division and the Padres to come in second. and be that other wild card. I think the Dodgers just squeak it out. I'm not a big Padres guy. Listen, they're a good team, but there's something about them. I don't know. I don't think they have enough to surpass the Dodgers quite yet. So then comes, I'm not going to go through every matchup and whatnot, but my World Series teams would be, I don't know how I can pick against the Astros until somebody proves they can beat them. So AL, I'm going with the Astros yet again. They're building a little mini dynasty there. Gonna be tough to beat. The NL, I would love to be a homer and pick the Mets. I can't do it yet. Not until I see how things shake out. I think I'm going to do like a mid-season update video, and I'll see what my predictions are from there. But as constructed, I'm going to say the Mets aren't going to make the World Series. I'm going to go. I can't pick I can't pick the Braves. Even if I can't do it. I hate them. I hate them with a passion. I grew up in the 90s. They were my most hated team ever. More than the Phillies even. No. Fuck the Braves. So I'll go to the Dodgers. Dodgers and Astros again. And I think the Astros win another one. So that's my predictions. Awards. I already said NL Rookie of the Year. I thought it's going to be Senga. NL MVP, Lindor. I guess those are my homer picks. AL MVP, until proven otherwise, Shohei. Dude's a beast. AL Cy Young, I'm going with Shane Bieber. NL Cy Young, I'm going with Corbin Burns. I think I skipped AL Rookie of the Year. As much as I hate the Yankees as well, I'm going with Anthony Volpe. Volpe, whatever, however you pronounce it. Yeah, I think he's gonna be good. I'd rather he not be good, but I think he is. So that's my little season preview. It's a bit long. I'm sorry about that, but a lot to talk about. A lot of things going on. Season starts tomorrow. Excited for that. Can't wait to watch the game. Again, if you're watching, please like, comment, subscribe. Do me a favor. I'm starting up a Twitter page for this channel too, just to throw videos up there and interact with people. I don't have the handle for that yet. Something along the lines of Amish Country Mets guy, but I think I have to condense it. I don't think that name's too long. Probably too long in general, but I was just looking for something somewhat unique. I didn't want to be the same old thing. And look at my lovely backdrop here. I am definitely, this isn't a green screen. I'm in Amish country. I went from New York City to the middle of nowhere. But I love it here. It's peaceful. It's quiet. Hopefully the quality of this video won't be too bad. I have to redo this. That would suck. Yeah, few distractions out here. That'll be the downfall to doing this outside. But I'll try. I think I am gonna try to do this. Try to lean into the Amish country thing, and do a lot of these outdoors if I can. If not, I'm gonna catch a corner inside somewhere and do these. I plan on doing a little. These videos, I know I said in my first video, if you watched it, if you didn't, that's cool too. But I'm gonna try to keep these videos shorter. My goal is I don't know, 10-15 minutes, stuff like that, maybe half an hour. it may skew long. Obviously, if there's something crazy goes on in a game and a post game, I might go longer. Something big news happens pre-game, I might go longer. Pre-game videos will be mostly like thoughts on matchups and maybe running through the lineup. It's not going to be anything crazy. I don't even know if I'll do pre-game videos every game. We'll see how it goes. I think also the plan will maybe do like a weekly recap video of how things went for the week, and maybe even interject on some things happening outside of Mets land. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you have any ideas for me. If you like this, you don't like it. I appreciate you watching. If you did, let's get that W tomorrow. Let's go Mets.